Hey, what's up you guys? It's Caboose bringing you another Spider-Man Miles Morales video, and today what I got for you guys here is a huge news roundup. A ton of exciting news dropped for this game after the official showcase, and with it we got some details including the release date, the price of the game, as well as a Spider-Man PS4 Remaster. Now before we get into everything, I wanted to ask you guys, of course, if at any point you enjoy this video, if you could consider leaving a like rating on it, it would show your support and I would really appreciate it. So if you enjoy the video at any point, leaving a like rating would be awesome. And also, if you're new here and you're looking forward to Spider-Man Miles Morales, well, I got you covered. I'm going to be covering all the news and updates regarding this game, trailers, gameplay, my reactions, and my inevitable Let's Play when the game does come out. Any little piece of info you want to know about for this game, I got your back. So if you'd like to, you can subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to be immediately notified when a video goes live. And with all that being said, well, let's get into this. So after the official reveal of that gameplay demo from the PlayStation 5 showcase yesterday, there was a PlayStation blog that was put up that gave us a ton of new details in regards to this game. And as with what I always advocate for when I make these videos, there's going to be a link in the description box below to the full PlayStation blog if you'd like to read it yourself. I'm just going to go over some of the key points. Starting off with this paragraph here that reads as follows. Beyond the thrilling gameplay, the gameplay video also shows off some of the amazing visuals that are available for the game on PS5. We are taking advantage of the next generation in many more ways as well for the PS5. From the silky smooth targeted 60 FPS frame rate performance mode to feeling the bioelectric venom energy coursing through your fingertips via the haptic feedback of the DualSense controller to hearing Marvel's New York surround you in lush 3D audio, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales will be a showpiece for the PlayStation 5. And then here's the big news. We're also excited today to reveal that Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales will be arriving on both PS5 and PS4. This is huge news, and I'm glad that this information was provided before the PS5 pre-orders officially went live, even though they went live before PlayStation said they would, but nevertheless, I'm glad that this news has come out, and we know now that you can get this game on the PS4. You don't gotta worry to scramble to get your hands on a PS5 to play Spider-Man Miles Morales. Of course, though, if you do get the game, you're probably gonna miss out on some of the things that I did just mention in that paragraph, and I'm assuming that 60 FPS performance mode is one of them. But speaking of that, they mentioned that it is a targeted 60 FPS. That's very key dialogue there. From what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, or if any dev is watching this that works at Insomniac, please reach out to me and let me know if I'm just speaking nonsense, but I'm assuming what that means is it's not going to be a consistent 60 FPS. It'll be a similar performance mode to that of what you get in Marvel's Avengers. There is a targeted 60 FPS, and at times it does reach that. However, it is not at 60 FPS 100% of the time. We shall see though. I am not going to be quick to judge this until I get my hands on the game on the PlayStation 5 and can try out this performance mode. But back to the PlayStation blog, it also mentions here that the standard edition will be available digitally on the PlayStation Store or physically at your local retailer for $49.99, that is USD. And below that it says here that Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales also supports a next-gen upgrade path, so even if you aren't ready to upgrade to PS5 just yet, there's nothing stopping you from buying the PS4 version and enjoying the game alongside everyone else at launch. While it doesn't have the enhancements made possible by the console in the PS5 version, the game still looks beautiful on the PS4 and PS4 Pro, and you can rest easy that when you make the jump to PS5, the game comes with you. This is my favorite thing that developers are supporting for the next gen consoles, is releasing games that come out for the current gen, and when you inevitably do upgrade, you get a free upgrade with that game to the next gen. In this case, the game being a PlayStation exclusive, it makes the most sense for them to upgrade to the PS5 with the amount of promotion they do for this game on that console, so I'm glad that they're planning to do that. But okay, you ready for another massive news bomb? Well, it mentions here in the PlayStation article, it says, but that's not all. We have one more surprise for you today. On PS5, we are announcing an Ultimate Edition for Spider-Man Miles Morales that includes a voucher code for Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. You'll be able to experience the complete storyline up to this point, which includes the remaster of the original game and all 3 installments of Marvel's Spider-Man The City That Never Sleeps DLC, so you can play the full narrative arc. I just want to get an entire stadium to chant "This is awesome" at this, but they also go on to say that the remaster for the PS5 is no simple up-res, as many of the game's art assets have been completely updated to take advantage of the PS5 console's horsepower. You'll see better looking characters with improved skin, eyes, hair, and facial animation, including our new next generation Peter Parker. You'll also see ray-traced reflections and ambient shadows, improved lighting, more pedestrians and vehicles stretching further into the distance, and the same optional performance mode offered in Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, allowing you to finally play the game at a targeted 60 FPS frame rate. Oh my god. We'll be supporting near instant loading, 3D audio, and the DualSense controller's haptic feedback. Lastly, we're adding 3 amazing new Spider-Man suits, new photo mode features, and even new trophies for those of you looking to platinum the game all over again. Okay, Insomniac Games don't play around. Then finally, this part of the PlayStation blog caps off by saying the Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition will launch both physically and digitally on the PlayStation Store for $69.99, which is US, on launch day, and that is the launch day of the PS5. And for those of you wondering, the same also applies for the standard edition of the game. So on November 12th, when the console launches in the US, Canada, Japan, etc., you're going to be able to get your hands on the game as well, and I'm guessing that the same applies to the PS4 version, so you don't really got to wait for that November 19th date to get your hands on the game for the rest of the world. But okay, back to my hype and excitement. Oh my god, there's gonna be a Spider-Man PS4 Remaster. Now, I know that sounds weird to say for a game that's only like 2 years old, but you gotta look at this in the same light of what they did with The Last of Us 1 when the PS4 launched. It's actually crazy to think that, yeah, The Last of Us was a PlayStation 3 game when it originally came out, and then they did a remaster for the PS4 that kind of upped the visuals, and that's exactly what's happening here. And although they still use that same messaging in that it is a targeted 60 FPS, I'm glad that there's going to be a performance mode for Spider-Man PS4. I cannot wait to see what that game is going to be like swinging around the city at a hopefully consistent 60 FPS. And we're getting 3 new suits. That is awesome. They mentioned that it's 3 amazing new suits. However, they didn't really put any emphasis specifically on that word amazing, but still some people are speculating that they might be adding the 3 suits that Spider-Man wears through the Amazing Spider-Man films. You know, the makeshift suit that he wears at the beginning of the first movie, and then the one that he inevitably gets towards the end of that movie, and then also the incredible suit that he wears in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And while again, there really isn't any evidence to prove this to be the case and what we're actually gonna get, it's just pure speculation based on the usage of the word amazing, but if it does end up happening, how awesome would that be? Spider-Man PS4 would feature alternate suits that give you every incarnation of the character on film. And I also want to mention that this is an amazing deal if you're just now getting into this franchise, which I don't really see there being a lot of people that have missed out on Spider-Man PS4. But if you're one of those few people that have, well, you can get the PS5 and get the Ultimate Edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales and get the full experience for only $70. That includes the PS4 remaster of the game, all the DLC that comes with Spider-Man PS4, and as well Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like I said, Insomniac don't play around. And right before we wrap up today's video, there's one more thing I want to read for you from this PlayStation blog that potentially teases a Spider-Man 2. So at the bottom of the PlayStation blog, this is mentioned. We have been working hard all year to ensure that PS5 will launch with Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales as well as Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. We have big plans for the Marvel Spider-Man universe with our partners at PlayStation and Marvel, and we cannot wait for you to experience the next adventure with Miles. Very interesting. This is not the first time that we've gotten that key messaging in regards to what's coming next from Insomniac Games in regards to Spider-Man, and it's pretty obvious at this point that they're working on a sequel to Spider-Man PS4. Now, when we see a Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games, I'm not really sure, but my best guess is 2022. Another 2 years that separates the new Spider-Man game. similar to what they did with Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4. But then again, Insomniac Games is a pretty huge studio with a lot of talented people there. I mean, they're releasing Ratchet & Clank and Spider-Man Miles Morales this year, so they've been hard at work. It's not entirely possible that they've had a specific team working on Spider-Man Miles Morales, a specific team working on Ratchet & Clank, and then another team that's been continuing work on a Spider-Man sequel since the release of the first game in 2018, or maybe even before the release of that first game. Either way, the future of Marvel games and Spider-Man games in specific looks very bright, especially in the incredibly talented hands of the folks at Insomniac Games. And with all that being said, I now want to kick it to you guys. There was a lot of news here, and I'm sure you're overwhelmed, but let me know what your favorite piece of all this news was in the comment section below. And also, speculate with me. What do you think those 3 new suits are going to be that are coming with that Spider-Man PS4 Remaster? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, if you could consider leaving a like rating on it, it would show your support, and I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose, and you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are going to be in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.